What's up? What's up? What's up? How we doing, guys? Welcome back to another day of coding with me. It's your boy Walter. We learning, getting back into the groove of coding. So we're probably gonna finish up um, this. So hopefully we can get through all of this. It looks like we gotta go through, build a cat blog page, build an HTML event, and then we're gonna do the semantic review and quiz. And then hopefully by tomorrow we'll go ahead and get started on the forms and tables, and yeah, we'll be good. We'll be finishing up this HTML review and finally be getting it into the CSS here pretty soon. So excited for that. Finally get to actually, I guess, code. Um, Making things really change instead of the bare bones basics. Nothing wrong with the basics, but I'm pretty sure you guys wanna you guys wanna move on to something a little bit more interesting as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and get back into this. So let's go ahead and locate it here. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do the few semantic events that we need to do left. So how do we display mathematical equations and chemical formulas in HTML? The superscript element is used to display a piece of text as a superscript. A superscript is a symbol or letter printed above a normal line of text. 2 squared is 4. What is that? Okay. Here's an example of superscript elements to illustrate exponents. To the previews, enable the interactive. Oh, two. Oh, subscripts. Oh, it just means it's up top. All right. So in this example, the number 2 is wrapped in subtags. Okay. Common use cases for subscript elements would include exponents, superior lettering, or ordinal numbers. Here's an example using the subscript element for superior lettering. To to see the previews, enable the interactive reader. GR. Yeah, I wouldn't know. Superior lettering, written in subscripts, usually indicate abbreviations. The letters GER are wrapped inside descriptive tags to illustrate the abbreviation in this example. It is important to note that subscript elements should only be used for typographical reasons. If you want to style a piece of text with a raised baseline, then you should use CSS instead as a subscript element. To represent chemical equations inside HTML, you would use a subscript element. This element uses a subscript which displays a lower baseline using the smaller text. Oh, sub. Hmm. What is this? Sup? SUP? Right? Yeah, sup and sub. I mean that's pretty simple enough. What does the HTML subscript use? Above the normal line. Which of the following is an example of using the subscript element correctly? Superscript. There. Okay. What should you use instead of subscript elements to style raised baseline for typography? What should be used instead of a subscript element if you want to style the text? Um, CSS. Okay. How to represent computer code in HTML? Hmm. The inline code element is used to represent short snippets of code inside text. Most common use cases for the code element would be technical articles and documentation pages. Here's an example of code element to show a CSS code snippet. Okay, so it's talking about that. In this example, CSS color property is used to set the color text to blue. By wrapping it in the code snippet, it communicates to the browser that the text is a piece of inline code. Oh, right here. Oh, okay. Um, the browsers will apply default styles for context inside the code element. The default styling is a monospace font. The code element is meant to represent a single line of code. If you want to represent multiple lines of code, you would need to place a code element inside a pre-formatted text element. Mm, okay, wait. Code. Oh, this is the pre-format. PRE inside the code. Okay. What code element is used for? Short snippets inside a code. What is the pre-formatted? Used to create, represent pre-formatted text. What is default styling? Monospace. Okay. And then lastly, before we move on to the lab here, uh, the unarticulated annotation element or U element is short. Is used to represent inline text that has non-textual annotations applied. Here's an example of using the U element highlight various spelling errors. Underlined, right? Okay. In the example, incorrect spelling and issues are misspelled. The default styling for the U element is in black underlined underneath the text. In HTML4, the U element was used for styling purposes, but in HTML5, the U element should only be used to indicate the text has non-textual annotations applied. If you want to style a piece of text with an underline, you should use CSS instead of HTML. The strike through element, or S element for short, should be used to represent when text is no longer accurate or relevant. Here's an example of the S element to show the cancellation of activity. So here, the Ruby element represents a small text shown above or below the main text. This typically is shown to show the pronunciation of East Asian characters. Here's our Ruby's example from the MDN web docs. The RP element, which one is RP? Um, RP. Okay, the RP element or Ruby fallback parentheses element is used for a fallback for browsers lacking the support of annotations. The RT element or Ruby text element is used to indicate text for Ruby annotation. This text is usually used for pronunciation or translation details in East Asia. While the Ruby element can be used for other types of annotations, it's used for. Okay. What is the U underline? What is the S? Strike through. What is the Ruby? Or like East Asian characters typically. Cool. All right, so let's go ahead and get this. We're gonna build this blog page and then uh, might build this event. Most likely. Let's go ahead and build this blog page. So the header element is used to represent introductory content like page navigation and other introductory information. Here's an example of the header element. Inside the body element, add a header. Okay. Okay. Bam. Okay. Inside the header, add an H1. Come on. H1. Welcome to Mr. Whiskers blog page. Mr. Whiskers. Okay. Alright. Below that, we're gonna add a figure element. Figure. Okay, we're gonna do that. Alright. Alright. And then so we're gonna do an IMG. If I remember correctly, this is how we do it. Equals um okay. Go. Bam. Oh, but there is an alt that we need to use. A cat in a garden. In the garden. Alright. And below your images, should use a fig caption. 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 Mr. Whiskers in the garden. I think that should pass. Perfect. What we like, that's what we like. And then below your figure, we're gonna add a nav. Oh, we're actually doing stuff now. We're actually creating a big cool. And then we're gonna create a UL. UL. We're gonna go ahead and create. Looks like how many LIs? Add 3. Cool. Copy. Cool. All right. Going by pretty quick. Inside each LI, you'll have an anchor element. Okay. The first anchor element, text should be about, and the href value should be about. Oh, about. Oops. A equals. Um, I think I did that wrong. I definitely did that wrong. Oh no. About. That looks a lot more correct. Href, it's gonna be post. Bam. We do that. This one is gonna be post. That should be good. Let's go ahead and just space these out a little bit, just for the sake of readability for myself. This is gonna be contact. Cool. Below your header, add a main. Main. Okay. Inside your main element, add a section with the ID set to about. Section ID equals about. Okay. All right. Inside the H2, I mean, to about. Cool. All right. Below your H2 element, add a P element there. All right. Below that, another. Okay. Double check your spelling. Oh, there we go. Now that you have added the section, try clicking the About button to see where the page jumps. Add another section here. Section. All right. Let's go ahead and do that. All right. But first, let's go ahead and click this About. All right. So it goes to this. This is where it goes to this section. And then here, we're going to go ahead. This section ID is going to be for posts. Posts H2, and then so we're gonna do that and put posts. I don't want to get ahead of myself, even though we can sort of tell where this is gonna go. Below the H2, add an article element. Article. Inside the article element, add an H3. H3. Mr. Whiskers. First day home. Your H3 element should have the text Mr. Whisker. Cool. And then oh, all right. Two paragraphs of ipsum lorem. If you don't know what ipsum lorem is, ipsum lorem is just text filler. Inside article, article element. Uh huh. For the second blog post, you'll need another article element. Oh, okay. Article. And then this is another H3. Um, Mr. Whiskers. First bath. Should have two pair of ipsum lorem. Okay. Okay. Congratulations. And then third, we're gonna need another blog post. All right. Article. Article. Three. Whiskers. First birthday party. 3. And below that, we're going to do the two paragraphs of ipsum lorem again. So we're just going to copy that up top. Congratulations. All right. Step 14. We below the main, we're going to add a footer. So we're going to do that. Footer. Footer. Perfect. And inside the footer, add a section with an ID of contact. Contact. And then the H2 says contact. H2 contact. There we go. And then below your H2, add an address element. Okay. All right. So we added that. And then inside the address element, add a P. You with phone. 5555. And then below that, add another for paragraph. P fakeemail.com. Cool. Lastly, we're going to wrap the text 555 in the href. A equals del. All right. So, I know we're wrapping this up pretty quickly here. All right. So, where are we now? And for the final step, we're going to wrap the fake email text and use mail to. Where are we at here? A href equals that'll be mail to fake at email.com. Okay. Close that a tag. You know what I did? Email. Oh, I see what I did. Copy. We're gonna delete that. It only wants it around the H this tag. Perfect. Cool. All right. So I think we did pretty well today. Um, Getting pretty late for me, so I think we'll call it as that. And then, yeah, if you guys like this kind of content, you guys know where to find me. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.